Coach's Corner, and hi everyone. Welcome to our show this week. We're going to talk a little basketball with Alan Hibler, our boys basketball coach. Last month of the regular season, the playoffs are just a few weeks away as well. And the Ponca City basketball teams, well, we go to Oklahoma City on Tuesday of this week and then have a little K County rivalry with Blackwell on Friday. Coach, on Tuesday you go to play Harding Preparatory School, not an easy thing to say, and I like a lot of these schools that we see, Coach. They've got good athletes and probably will have a pretty good ball club.
They do. This is one of the best ball clubs they've ever had. The school itself has only been around about 10 years. Early in their time, we played them in the festival that we used to have that we shared between Ponca City and Stillwater and passed it back and forth and played for about 4 years straight there, and then they left the festival. They were really young at that time. They actually started their school with freshmen and built it up. So, it was a 4-year progress for them before they had seniors in the school. But, they turned the corner now. They've got a really good crop of kids. They've got a Division I type point guard. They've got a big kid inside that's a very talented player. It's a place that kids in the Oklahoma City public school system seem to migrate to. It's a preparatory school, so it's a college readiness school, and their academic programs are very rigorous and things. So it's a drawing card for kids.
You and I have probably beat this pulpit a number of times over the last 5 years, but the schools, some of the schools we now are not forced to play, but we have to schedule because of our difficulty scheduling. You've got a team out of Wichita that's coming up. The Oklahoma City Storm, which our fans saw several weeks ago in our festival, this Harding Prep School. Maybe 10 years ago, these were easy ball games to win, and now not many people want to schedule them because they are so difficult for teams to beat.
Well, the demographics of Oklahoma City and Tulsa, Wichita have changed drastically. I mean, as people have become more upwardly mobile and moved out towards the suburbs and things, and being able to put their children in schools that require some type of tuition or some type of sacrifice. I mean, it's really changed the demographics of inner city basketball. Let's call it inner city basketball. The Oklahoma City public school system, the Tulsa public school system, the Wichita public school system. We're seeing more and more kids kind of migrate away from there and go out to these kind of suburban type schools or these preparatory schools, these college readiness schools. So things have really changed as to where the athletes are going. And, all these schools have good coaching. They have good resources. Most of them play in very nice gymnasiums, and they've got good financial backing. So it's a very lucrative situation if you're in one of those city areas to send your kid to one of those places.
Coach, this week you have Harding Prep down there, and then you got Blackwell. Your team, for no other reason other than they just need to win some basketball games.
We do. I mean, we've played well in stretches, but we haven't played well for a whole game. We played well in the first half against Del City. Played well against Putnam City Original in the Deer Creek of Edmond tournament. Played a great first half against Enid last Tuesday night, but we're really having some trouble with the turnover bug, and we're committing too many of them. We're averaging almost 18.5 turnovers a game, and that's just too many. We've got to do a better job of taking care of the basketball and things, and not put ourselves in situations where we make bad decisions with the basketball, and that's really hurt us. And a lot of the turnovers that have really caused problems for us is up around the half court line where we can't get back and guard defensively, and a turnover at the half court line leads to a run out or numbers at the other end, and it's just really tough in that situation. We going back, when we played Ada, we had 19 turnovers, but the thing about that, we didn't turn the ball over in the full court situation. We turned it over in the half court situation. We was able to get back and play defense and things. So, that's going to be that's been a big emphasis, and it's going to continue to be a big emphasis, just, ball security.
It's time of year where people will start watching the polls and see who's ranked where. We talked a lot about Putnam City North and about Norman North, but I see today we're another North school, Edmond North, is ranked number 1. So Those teams really kind of look like the class of 6A this year.
Well, they are. Norman North is really good again. Mustang has a really good team, though their record doesn't show it. They played a lot of national games. As a matter of fact, this last weekend they was playing out on the East Coast in some big tournament. Union is still Union, of course. They beat Midwest City the other day to give them their first loss. Midwest City's got a good basketball club. Of course, Putnam City North, Owasso. Just some really good teams around the state. Most of them seem to be centered in the Oklahoma City area this year for the first time. You know, it's kind of been on the east side, but, you know, it's not so much the east side. You know, over here on the west side, you've got Edmond North, you've got Putnam City North, you've got Norman North, you've got Putnam City West, Mustang, just some really good basketball teams out there. This is one of the banner years in the state of Oklahoma as far as Division I recruits. You know, of course, everybody's getting some attention. Nobody's getting more attention than Trey Young at Norman North. I mean, he's got offers on the table from Duke, Kentucky, Kansas. Probably the most highly recruited player as far as offers on the table since Sheldon Williams came out of Midwest City back in the early 2000s and went to Duke University. I mean, this kid has more offers on the table than Xavier Henry, who's playing in the NBA right now. He even has more offers on the table than Blake Griffin has.
You just kind of went through a little who's who of Oklahoma high school basketball, and you know, and you love to watch those type of players. But it's tough being the coach of a team that is kind of isolated, where your players are your players, and it's not easy to go up against these teams, whether you're a player or a coach.
Well, you know, we are a rural school. I mean, there's no doubt about that. You know, we don't see the transfers like those guys see. I mean, you know, constantly every time you turn around in the Oklahoma City area, a player's moving from one apartment to another apartment, and they're immediately eligible, or they're buying a house there or something. So, you know, that just doesn't happen out here. But you know, it's just one of the things, and we've just got to get in the gym and work and get better with the kids that we have. And you know, our kids do a good job of working and everything, but you know, we don't get those Division I move-ins like those guys seem to get.
Absolutely. Blackwell on Friday night's a home basketball game, and I don't know what the future of this is. Do you see a future with Blackwell and Ponca City playing each other? If you could, maybe talk about the game a little bit.
Well, you know, it's always a fun game to play. It's one we've tried to get on the schedule for a number of years, but couldn't get them on. And then Coach Valerius took over, and, you know, he wanted to play. And, you know, it's great for our fans. It's a 15-minute trip for our fans, or a 15-minute trip. If you were at the game last year, I mean, it was a standing room only crowd at Blackwell for that game. And, you know, it's a good county rivalry game. I mean, we're the two biggest schools in the county, and us being able to get together and play, I mean, it's fun for the fans. It's fun for the kids, because the kids kind of have a relationship because of the Blackwell Fair and the different things that go on. And, you know, Blackwell kids hanging out in Ponca City. So, you know, we know a lot of those kids and things. So it's just really a lot of fun. And I think it's something that we'll be able to keep going. I mean, we're on the schedule for next year with them, going to Blackwell, as long as Coach Valerius is there and things. You know, it's kind of a catch-22 game for us. I mean, it's a game we should win, but, you know, Blackwell has some kids with some talent. So, you know, it will definitely be a challenge when we get ready to play them.
Well, I was going to make that comment. Most of the games were underdogs, but this is one of those games where the mindset has to be a little different, because you know you are the favorite team, and it would make their season probably if they could beat Ponca City.
Well, yeah, it's you know, something that's always in the back of your mind as a coach. I don't know if our players give it much thought or not, but you know, I definitely do. It's a trap game, and you know, you hope you know, it's easy to get your kids ready to play in that game, because it's kind of a rivalry game, even though we haven't played very often in the past. But we're 15 minutes apart, and it's for bragging rights in the county and things. So, you know, I think our kids will be ready to play and things. But you know, it's always a scary thing.
Absolutely. Again, Ponca City and Oklahoma City on Tuesday, Blackwell at home on Friday. For Coach Hibler, I'm Phil Turney in Coach's Corner.